Thank you, Chair. I proceed. Budget has been reduced from mechanization from 145 billion to 80 billion. So we thought we should give additional 50 billion for the procurement of tractors. Minister of Local Government. Minister of Local Government, there was an allocation of 80 billion, an allocation of 8 billion for construction of 140 sub-county offices. And the colleagues, the idea was it needed about 16 billion as presented by the committee, but we thought maybe they can do it over 2 financial years. Construct them up to halfway and complete next financial year. Ministry of Education and Sports, grant aiding primary schools 2.5 billion, 38 primary schools as per the annex submitted by Education Committee. We have it in the annex in the report. The list, when you go to the report, it's there in the list. Honorable Chair, in case you have the report. Grant aiding secondary schools, 16.5 billion, 66 secondary schools as per the annex. That was attached.
Bana baganda bange nze nange ntudde mu parliament wane e Busiro. Tuwulirize oluzungu bana abasajja muwulire enziba gye babba mu Sente bakomyewo baagala kweyongeza kakodyo ka kweyongeza. Nze ntudde no Busiro East tugende maaso.
The next one was for secondary school.
Honorable members, the annex was in the report. And remember, this is a report of the committee, of the previous committee.
It was uploaded.
It was uploaded.
It was uploaded on the iPad.
Can you finish?
City schools, 10 billion to construct 13 city schools under UKIP.
You cannot seek clarification on what the House already adopted. They are in your village.
You are in your iPad. Okay. There is subvention 900 million to cater for salaries and the other employee costs for Uganda Allied Health Examinations Board. Uganda Nurses Midwives Examinations Board, 2 billion for monitoring nurses and midwives. Minister of Health. We realized that a number of constituencies didn't have ambulances, others had been given ambulances. So there was a need for 154 ambulances. The committee, due to smaller resources, said let's buy half, 77 ambulances, and had allocated 27 billion to procure ambulances through Ministry of Health. Again, the ambulances, colleagues, much as they are allocated constituencies, there is a challenge of fuel and maintenance costs. And the minister indicated that they needed money to operate a system, a card system, where each ambulance is allocated funds monthly, directly to operate the ambulance. So we had allocated 17 billion for fuel and maintenance of ambulances. Uganda Red Cross was allocated 2 billion. Honorable colleagues, they were informed that there are a number of health centers government started to construct, and they are not yet complete and operationalized. So the committee thought that for this coming financial year, let those health centers be completed and operationalized.
No. Bannayuganda muwulirize obubbi obubeera mu parliament bawulire bwe beeyongeza tewali.
You know who is supposed to construct them. The construction is done by the brigade, UPDF brigade. Minister of Works and Transport. Minister of Works and Transport force account has been increased, allocated 15 billion additional, only 15 years, for Duka roads. We had also, colleagues, you realize that government now underworks the road safety, licensing, and revenue collection from licensing vehicles is under Minister of Works, which will collect the revenue, a transfer from ERA. So we are looking at 2 billion for licensing, sensitization, and registration of vehicles. 15 billion to have a one-stop center to offer general services like driving license and registration of vehicles. 2 billion for these people to recruit staff. You see, they took over work from a private company, which they are now doing. So they must have staff to do their work. Colleagues, also 2 billion have been allocated. 2 billion had been allocated for Minister of Works to give services at the ports of Mombasa and Dar es Salaam, so that they deploy staff there for easy registration of vehicles. And 3 billion for operationalization of inspection services, which were placed under SGS. National Building Review Board 10 billion, low cost steel 20 billion, bridges 3 billion, community roads improvement.
Sente.
Community roads improvement, what they call interconnectivity, 33 billion.
33 billion.
And then multi-legal labor-based infrastructure development, 5 billion.
Sente.
Minister of Gender, National Women's Council was added 3 billion. Support to youth, construction equipment for youth 1.2. Rehabilitation of ministry institutions, child rehabilitation centers 2 billion.
Sente.
At the cultural gala, which is going to take place in Kidepo 2024 gala.
Nabbanja yatugambye agenda tusula ffe abaavu. Wulira Sente mu parliament. Tuli live mu parliament.
In South Sudan, 400 million. Funding to support Grow project, 500 million. Withdraw, rehabilitate, and settle street children was added 500 million. Special enterprise grant for older persons, 2 billion. Juakali Enterprises, 5 billion. Kireka Rehabilitation Center, the refurbishment, 460 million. Yeah. Minister of Water and Environment.
Sente.
The support to rural water projects.
Senga nalinye dawo ku menza.
Prosper Village was added 14.5 billion. Strategic towns, water supply and sanitation, 3 billion. Investing in forests and protected areas for climate smart development project 1613, additional 2 billion. Service coverage, accelerated project, SCAP umbrella project, 15 billion. Project 1524, water and sanitation development facility is 6 billion. Subversion to National Water and Sewerage Corporation, 1 billion. Minister of Tourism. Minister of Tourism, subvention to Wildlife Authority, 900 million to construct 15 kilometers electric fence. Subvention Uganda Wildlife Authority, 90 billion for compensation for damages due to human-wildlife conflicts and park accidents. Subvention to Uganda Wildlife Research Training Institute to construct a girls' hostel, 4 billion. IGG was added 6.6. 1.7 digitalization, 4.8 for recruitment of staff, and 1 billion for staff training. Parliamentary Commission, the 8.9 are reallocated from capital to recurrent to cater for medical insurance for MPs, 8.97. Uganda National Roads Authority, UNRA, feasibility studies for Chabakuza, 1 billion. Feasibility study Singiro, Kipya, 1 billion. Kampala City Authority, 10 billion for mechanized drainage and distilling of channels.
wadde bya luzungu tubeereko mu biwulire mumanye enziba gye batubbamu eno ye parliament ab'e Kenya bo bagirumbye bulumbi.
As counter funding for restoration affected properties. Equal Opportunities Commission, 1 billion. National Information Technology Authority, 20 billion to offset domestic areas owed to Solito del Marker for management and commercialization of NPI. Uganda National Examinations Board, 6.5 for assessing the new lower secondary school curriculum and the continuous assessment. You are aware that the curriculum was changed, but no additional funding for them to.
Bajongedde Sente curriculum. Kyokka curriculum yakusuula baana empya eyo gye baleese. Tewali we tugikolerako amwana tokyasobola muyambako ku homework. Ku curriculum.
Another money was given to UNEB for conducting transitional examinations. You are aware that there are those who are going to receive, they have to give another exam, but no funds are allocated. 6.5, securing accommodation for the markers. Field, to conduct field activities of examinations, 8.5. And the retrain examiners. Colleagues get to know that UNEB, according to what we got from the sector, after change of the curriculum, the teachers were not retooled properly. And now UNEB had to take up that task. And they are moving around trying to train teachers so that they prepare the students, the candidates, to meet the task of a coming exam. Financial Intelligence Authority was allocated 4 billion. Office of Auditor General to recruit staff, 3 billion. Operational fund shortfall, their money was cut by 30 billion. And that would make the work of Auditor General very difficult. And perception survey, Auditor General is supposed to perform a role of independent administrator for EITI and to audit missions abroad 1.7. DPP, recurrent budget to cover wage, to recruit staff, the attorneys to support the justice system. Witness preparation and protection, 3 billion. Procurement of motor vehicles, 2 billion. Uganda Police Force, CID. You will recall, colleagues, on this floor, there was a resolution made here to support the CID. And as such, there was even a resolution here, they must have their own vote. And I want to confirm to you, I visited the CID recently on witness summons. I would like to confirm, colleagues, there is some high degree of professionalism now in the CID's office. $80 billion to CID. Uganda Prison Service.
Amakomera.
4 billion.
Billion nya.
For extension of Kipya prison facility in Gomba.
Kwongera kuzimba komera. Egomba.
130 million to assist to procure some devices for PWDs. Yes, it's just a device of PWDs.
Production warrant is emogera.
CPDA, 3 billion to expand scope of the procurement audit from 40% to at least 60%. As of today, the funds available, they manage to do only 40% procurement audit. So if this money is added, they can rise at least to 60%. Uganda National Bureau of Standards, field activities for certification, testing, standard development, verification of equipment, and enforcement of standards, 4 billion. Wage shortfall for Uganda Bureau of Standards, 2 billion. ISO.
Internal Security Organization.
Internal Intelligence Collection, 20 billion. ESO, 7 billion. ESO again to construct the ESO headquarters, because it's believed where they are located is not secure enough. So to construct 31 billion. National Council of Sport,
Ebyemizannyo.
10 billion to support associations.
Miliyoni.
And the 2.5 billion to support the design and redevelopment of
Nebongerako billioni 2. Ezo zonna za
Makerere University. Gender Equality Project, Program Project, 1.2 billion. Uganda Tourism Board,
obwobulambuzi
1.8 billion.
biliyoni emu
National
miliyoni
Citizenship
8.
and Immigration Control, 10 billion shillings for border posts and technology and so on. National Animal Generic Resource Center, Nagirik, additional 10 billion.
10 billion kuzaazisa
This
bisolo.
one I only want to clear, to kick start
Kuzaazisa
a
bitole.
demonstration farm in Bukedia district.
Mu Bukedya bataddeyo biliyoni 10 kuzaaza bisolo. Biliyoni 10 mu Bukedya owanita amongi kuzaazisizaayo bisolo. Biliyoni 10.
That is my district, honorable colleagues.
Nze mukiise wammwe kambabuulira ebifa mu parliament wa.
Mbale 4410 Mbale Regional Referral Hospital. Mbale Regional Referral Hospital has been struggling to construct a surgical complex for about 5 years. It's not going far. And they need 5 billion to complete it. And that was allocated. Mbale Regional covers a big area up to Palace, up to Bukedi, up to Uganda Business and Technical Exam, UBTEP, 4 billion. Uganda Microfinance Regulatory Authority, 3 billion. Uganda Export Promotions Board, in order to participate in Expo 2025 for Saka, 4 billion. Kisoro District. Kisoro District was allocated 2 billion for construction of Kanyamateche Bridge. 1.3 billion. for Kanyamateke Bridge. And rehabilitation of Buhozi Health Center 350
Kanyamateke
million.
bagiwadde 2 billion.
And Nyarusizi
Naye
Health Center
Katonga
350 million.
Katonga tebagifangako.
Entebbe Regional Referral Hospital. Ever since that hospital was upgraded from a district hospital to a regional referral hospital, the budget stayed constant. So we had allocated additional 3 billion to Entebbe Regional Referral Hospital. Uganda Consulate in Kenya, Mombasa, they are supposed to hosting of Uganda Kenya Coast Tourism Conference Center in Kampala, November 2024. We had allocated 1 billion. Mbarara City, vote 609 in Mbarara City, had been allocated for construction of Katete Bridge in Mbarara City. That's going to connect Isingiro and others, 5.2 billion. St. Helena Primary School refurbishment, 100 million. Kakoba Muslim Primary School, 100 million. Kayaga Primary School, 100. Nyamitanga Secondary School, 100 million. And Nyamityobora Health Center 2, 400 million.
Sinnawulira muli Ekawala, sinnawulira muli Ebusiro.
Shema Municipal Council.
Honorable Sechi.
Colleagues, I'm about to complete. I'm left with very few.
Honorable Sechi. Leave my mpaka.
Bannange. Nyamishema Nyabukagulula andi era tuzeeyo Shema.
1.6 billion was added for completion of rehabilitation of Kabohe Health Center 4. That one was 600 million. And the market development infrastructure of 400 million. And SMC headquarters 600 million. Uhueju district. Completion of St. Anthony Kakade Seed School 500 million. Bulambuli district. Bulambuli district for construction of climbing ladders for school-going children. Colleagues, you have seen on WhatsApp, the children in Bulambuli, a place called Soti, have to access school through ladders to reach the higher level, but they have been using Kalidusi to make ladders. So we are informed if we don't reinforce and they put the proper ladders, one day children, the ladder will break and the children will die. So 1.5 billion. Then to improve Bulukanya Health Center 4, 1.5 billion. Bulago SCS 300 million. St. Peter Clever Muyembe 700 million. Bushenyi district. Bushenyi district.
Tuzeeyo wansi Bushenyi.
For construction of playground at Bumbaire sub-county to be utilized for various school activities. For talent identification and growth of child, 450 million. Roco, this is 1.1 billion for health center 3 maternity ward completion at Busibo and Kaboyo Primary School 200 million. Katulo, Revogo Health Center 3, Chazanga Town Council Market. Mitoma District.
Mitoma. Tuli wansi
6.2 billion.
Ulira sente ziri mu Western. Ne baganda bafe abali mu Western baavu bazibu.
Ongoing project by UPDF at Roburunga Seed School 600 million. The Tereko Skills Development Center 1.6 billion. Kigiende Health Center 3 1.5 billion. The Tereko Health Center 4 600 million. Kigiende Seed School 600 million. And Rutoche Health Center 4, 1.6. Mubende District rehabilitation of a school, Kasambia Das, 500 million. Nabila Tuku District, Nabila 2, Sente SS roofing and fencing, 480 million. Construction of classroom block at Locapel Junction Primary School, 400 million. Maternity ward at Sakare Health Center 2, 300 million. Colleagues, that is the amount. That's where we allocated those funds. Those funds
Honorable members,
were picked from there.
honorable members, can we listen? Honorable Semuti, you gave out your power to the chair. I want to ask the chair, honorable members, can we first have, let's sit. Honorable Chair, now that you have told us where the money is coming from, where it is supposed to be, where it was proposed to be.
Yes.
What is your opinion on reallocation?
Okay.
On the President's letter for and request for national interest.
I thank you, Right Honorable.
Honorable members, listen.
Colleagues.
In that,
Allow me say, we did all of this for the good of the country and in good faith. We did it in good faith. Now that the bill has been returned with a lot of language, whereby if you listen to the speech, a presentation by PSSP recently, it made it clear that Parliament tampered with the budget, and that tampering is going to affect service delivery. That tampering is going to lead to supplementary budgets. And sincerely, in the interest of our country, none of us is happy to see figures. You start then a supplementary budget and so on. So, with that commitment given, and the HE giving that there are priorities, of course, which priorities is interested, the government is interested in, and also given that they commit to stick to the budget.
listen.
I therefore concede to the reallocation.
Thank you, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you,
Madam Chair,
thank you.
Commission, Madam Chair. Commission, Madam Chair. Thank you,
Honorable
Madam Speaker.
members,
Commission, Madam Chair.
Sente eri wano.
Commission.
Sente eri
honorable
wano.
members, can he conclude? Let him conclude.
Speaker, members, if you can,
Honorable members, sit. Honorable members, sit.
Madam Speaker, I want to thank you very much. Members, if you can give me,
Honorable members,
you see, the reason I wanted the Parliament to listen to the chairperson,
honorable members, can you first listen to the shadow finance? And first of all, I am also happy that the statement that has been given clears people that they have not stolen the money. That it clears everybody that the money has not been stolen. It was allocated to different areas. And that's why the president is saying, in the interest of national priorities and equity. But that actually has helped us a lot. What Honorable Poloto was reading. It does not show that the money was allocated and eaten by members of parliament here. It shows it was allocated to different areas. Only that now we are looking at national interest.
Madam Speaker, I want to thank you very much. I am happy.
You are all standing to speak.
I am happy that the...
So you all want to speak when you're speaking?
Kati nga lwaki temuntuma mu parliament muno?
Bino
bisajja biba binyuma na kiboko. Kiboko. Eye parliament biringa byana bito bya primary.
I am very happy. I am very happy that the chair, you see the trouble in this parliament, we may want to speak but we need information. That's why I considered. I had been asked to speak. Not that I don't have something to say, but I thought we would benefit from the chair of the committee explaining where the money went. Now that that has been done, you know we did a minority, we disagreed with the chairman. But I don't want to participate in lynching him for no crime committed. Madam Speaker, if you go to the law on Public Finance Management Act, specifically Section 13, it outlines the number of documents that are supposed to accompany the budget. Unfortunately, we may not have paid attention to all of them. For example, if you allow me, Madam Chair, the 750 billion, 300 billion, and let the minister come here and deny that you are removing from the items that the chair has read. That money is going to Roco Construction Company. It is entirely...
The information I have to give, Madam Chair,
Roco.
19. Madam Chair, I'm giving simple information to the members. I'm in support of what he's saying. Roco came here after the Pope had visited Uganda in 1969 to construct that church at Namugongo. Ever since that time, by the Catholic Church, she has been doing business for itself. So the moment you look at the challenges of our hospitals and our schools, there is no way you can bail out Roco, which has been here since 1969, with the assets that Kawepe doing business, and you use the government buying funds from Karungu West constituency to bail it out. So even the Catholic Church, after doing its work, if it failed, did its work and passed the solution on our side.
Madam Chair, I will be done in 3 minutes.
There is information here.
Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable colleagues, on 21st July 2022, this August House passed a resolution for government to take out shares in Roco. And therefore,
Kamalo omuzumingo.
Why don't you listen?
Kamalo omuzumingo.
Why don't you listen?
Laboy.
the resolution, I am just providing information.
Nayo yo mukiise wa.
The Parliament on 21st July 2022 passed a resolution to take out shares in
Ono, Banang, Oyo.
What have we benefited from Roco?
If the decision...
What has Uganda benefited from Roco?
No, me have just
What
provided...
has Uganda benefited from Roco? What has Uganda benefited from Roco?
Yana.
Right Honorable Speaker, I am just reminding us that as we make this decision...
Bananga bali ku mukutu ogwa Mapu Media TV waliwo ababuuza ki ekigenda mu maaso eno si parliament ya bulijjo kino ekiri wano parliament yali yagenda mu luwummula bagiyiseekomewo bayisa budget bwe bagitwala ewa Museveni n'etamusanyusa yalina okugizza ng'ennaku z'omwezi tezinnayita 3 agizizza wayise n'ennaku 3 mu mateeka batalina kuddamu kubaganyizibwako birowoozo budget eyayisibwa abantu balina mu kusasula misolo gyatandika dda kati bagikomezzaawo bano abali wano buli omu yalidde ssente okukaanya n'ekyo gwe balinda olabe buno obubbi obuli wano wuliriza
Okay, you must tell us it.
It's only one that the speak up is alone without parliament.
You sit.
twagala kabaka waffe naye era nga nammwe muteese
I am saying let anybody will start talking when the house is quiet. Let's first sit.
komenti yo yonna gy'oleeta gy'oteeka wano ensi yonna egiraba ngiteekawo ensi n'egiraba teesa naawe beera mu paalamenti wano nze sipiika wammwe maapu kabwejumbira abaweereza teekayo komenti olabe ki twalikoze tutya okutereeza eggwanga lino ye paalamenti yammwe baabo balinga babbebi baabo balinga baana basekendule nga bagenze mu
Can I have silence? Right Honorable Speaker. Hello, come back this side. Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable colleagues. Budget is a document.
Uyo yatugambye otusiba
The priorities.
oyagambye agenda kusiba abaavu ffenna tugenda mu kkomera nabbanja
In 206. In 206. Yana, government of Uganda, together with Parliament, just a minute. Yana, it is just out of respect that when an elder is speaking, that you respect. Yana, do you want me to speak of businesses that you're also doing?
eyo ye parliament yayitiddwa kuva mu gundi mu luwummula laba ekigenda mu maaso
Brothers and sisters, we are here for a reason. We are here.
Can we have silence?
Honorable members, like I said earlier, the budget is a document that reflects the
Mariam,
priorities.
I'll just you out. You, Mariam.
The priorities of government as headed by the head of state. In 2006, 2005, 2006, Parliament of Uganda decided to increase the budget to work on roads and also provide electricity. That did not mean that we did not want to work on health centers. That did not mean that we did not want to work on water. We decided to work on roads and 14 trillion. Honorable colleagues. Honorable colleagues.
Honorable.
I've been keeping it quiet when other members are talking. Give me an opportunity.
Honorable members, listen to the Prime Minister.
Yes. Honorable members, sometimes we need to consolidate our efforts so that we can work on the common good. If we had not consolidated our budgets then, the roads we are now talking about would not have been worked on. Let me give an example. The budget committee, they allocated the money worth 80 billion to purchase iron sheets in my office for Karamoja. We are saying now, Karamoja, we need to, one, work on water for production so that those people can produce their own food.
Honorable members, let the
We want to dig dams so that those people can, and that is in the budget.
Okay.
Colleagues,
Order, Madam Speaker.
I want you
Madam Speaker, in the 9th Parliament, we were here with the Right Honorable Prime Minister. She had issues that were disturbing the people of Kakumiro. She was busy jumping outside, speaking English that I did not understand very well. Now that she has become a Prime Minister, she has forgotten the people of Kakumiro, and now she's beginning to defend foreigners who are investing here. Is she in order to forget where she comes from? Is she in order?
Is she in order?
Honorable,
Or is it in order?
honorable members, honorable members, honorable members, continue.
honorable members, everybody is aware that I have been there for the common person, and this is on record. So you are not in order.
Honorable members,
Honorable members,
Oli ku Map Media TV.
honorable colleagues, I want to appreciate the applause I've got from members.
Oyo yagambye buli mwavu akwatibwe.
I am a Prime Minister of the whole country, not Kakumiro. I have to give support to all districts, irrespective of where people come from. And so, colleagues, I wanted you, Right Honorable Speaker, to allow the Attorney General to come here and articulate Article 93 of our Constitution. What does it say?
okay.
So, colleagues, we must all move in unison. If you have issues that you want to take to your constituents, why don't we really harmonize? Why don't we harmonize?
Honorable
Thank you
members,
so much.
honorable members, honorable
Procedure.
Honorable
Madam Chair,
honorable members, can we have some silence?
Roco, apana.
Can we have some silence?
So, Madam Chair,
Wait. Can we have some silence? Can we have silence? Honorable Dur?
Madam Chair, we are still in the committee of the whole house, meaning that at the end of this process, we have to report back to Parliament.
Yes.
The items we are considering were read by the Minister to us. What we should now be doing is to look at Vote 008 and talk about the 10 billion and take a decision on that, and then move to the next items. If at the end Yes, the very filter.
Honorable members,
We don't say the work, we are debating.
honorable members, first wait. Why don't we have respect for members? Honorable members, honorable members,
mujja kwogera musaaga, mujja kwogera musaaga. Waliwo muganda mukwano gwange wano Siita agenda n'angamba maapu lwaki obeera okaayana buli kaseera. Parliament okaayana.
listen. Since we are not ready to listen to each other, can you sit down?
Tasobola giteeka mu tasobola gyadjaninga n'agyetaaga ne bwe bawuggana.
To listen to each other. Now we are going to put a question on reconsideration. Honorable members, I put a question that Appropriation Bill 2024 as returned by His Excellency the President in accordance with Article 91(3)(c) of the Constitution be reconsidered by this House. Those in favor say and the contrary nay.
Laba ekiri mu parliamenti. Laba mwe mulonda. Maapu tosobola parliamenti. Abasobola parliamenti be bano. Maapu nzija busiro. Nja kulinnya kweye menza eyo. Maapu tosobola parliamenti. Kati look at them. Look at them.
Motion for resumption of the House.
Babo bagenda kulinnya. Bagenda contrary no and contrary yes. Ogenda kubalaba abagenda ogamba yes bagenda kubeera bangi kubanga baze babiteesezza abaamu 7.
Resumes and the committee of the whole House reports there too.
I put a question that the House resumes and the committee of the whole House resumes there too. Those in favor say the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Tumuddemu.
Report of the committee of the whole House.
Honorable Minister.
Madam Speaker,
I
beg to report that the committee of the whole House has considered the motion for consideration of the Appropriations Bill 2024 and passed it.
Munno munsindike mu
Motion for
parliamenti.
adoption of the report of the committee of the whole House.
Tewaliwo gwe mujjayo mu nteeka y'essaawa zino.
Madam Speaker, I beg to
Honorable
note the
members, I
motion.
want you to know you came to this parliament alone. Nobody brought you.
Madam Speaker, I beg to move that the report of the committee of the whole House be adopted.
I put a question that the committee of the whole House be adopted by this House. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Procedure, Right Honorable Speaker, I want to motion that the House resolves itself into a committee of supply for the consideration and approval of the estimates of revenue and expenditure for the financial year 2024-2025.
Biba byakuwoggana buwogganyi mu kuwoggana mwe babbira bano baba bali serious abalanga tebali serious abali serious bo be batono ne bajja ne babiyisaawo.
Honorable members, can I have your attention? Honorable members, you will recall that on 16th, this House is applied a budget estimate for financial year 2024-2025. The supply culminated in 2 appropriation bills.
Rebecca agaba nkutumiddeko. It's a big shame that this floor is led by women who are mother of the nation.
Therefore,
Women
pursuant to Rule 151 of the Rules of Procedure, the House will resupply the harmonized budgetary provisions, taking into consideration His Excellency's request. Pursuant to Rule 1512 of the Rules of Procedure, I will now invite the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development to move a motion for the House to resolve itself into a committee of supply for the purpose of resupply the budget estimate for financial year 2024-2025. Honorable Minister, there is no procedure.
Madam Speaker, I beg to move a motion that this House resolves itself into a committee of supply to reconsider the Appropriations Bill 2024. I beg to move.
Is the motion seconded? Seconded by Koluo, Mutiwa, Ayume, Inyamatama, Alioni, Onyereso, Joani, Apoloto, Omakeche, Kankunda, Fish, Rodais, Alanyo, Pius, Okirol, Shatis, Afande, and all the ministers, and the whole of the time.
Ndowulira bana abasajja bagezi bajja bakibaze basooka kutuuza zigundi zaabwe cabinet netuula bano ba MP ne batuula aba NRM ne bamanya nti kino kyonna kye tugenda okuyisaawo ndowooza olaba abasekendinga gundi bonna ba NRM.
I saw Honorable Mona standing to be counted.
I did see him. That's why I didn't say his name.
Yeah.
I did not see Honorable Mona because I did not call his name. Maybe you saw somebody else.
Waliwo wanayise bannakenya bajje balabe comedian abali wano. We have a comedian. Look at them.
On 28th March 2024, on 28th March 2024,
mugana okuntwala mu pale laba omukyala oli wagala bindi bwatunula.
Planning and Economic Development tabled before Parliament the Appropriations Bill 2024. The Appropriations Bill 2024 sought to provide for authorization of expenditure from the Consolidated Fund to meet the expenditure for financial year ending 30th June 2025.
Mwe musharing bino bye bakweka bulijjo mu birabe sharingira munno yitajjejjawo omunnyonnyole bye bino bagisoma tetubitegera kati bibino.
The Treasury to issue out of the Consolidated Fund and apply towards the supply granted to the government for the
Rebecca agabye kale gino gyonna emivuyo girimu abakyala giridingibwa abakyala bamaama b'eggwanga omuli ba Rebecca amini banyanyi ono omukyala yanyi ono Prime Minister yagambye agenda tusibafa abaavu. Mulimu Nabbanja, mulimu Anita Amongi, abakulu abakulembeze be bamaama b'ensi eno naye be bakulembedde emivuyo gy'okuzza ensi wansi.
Article 91(2) of the Constitution. His Excellency the President, in accordance with Article 91(3)(c) of the Constitution, refused assent to the bill and returned the bill to Parliament. As you are aware, Right Honourable Speaker, Parliament has, as a consequence of the return of the Appropriations Bill by His Excellency the President, reconsidered the annual budget estimates for the financial year 2024-25 and approved the new estimates of Uganda shillings 72 trillion 136 billion 540 million 253,000 with the recurrent and development expenditure totaling to the sum of 34 trillion 318 billion 98 million and 622,000. I therefore move that Parliament, in accordance with Article 91(3)(c) and 6(a) of the Constitution, reconsiders the Appropriations Bill 2024 as returned by His Excellency the President and make amendments to reflect the estimates as appropriated by the Committee of Supply. I beg to move, Right Honorable Speaker.
Budget gye bayisa eri mu trillion 7.2 nezigwamu almost trillion 7.3. Kyokka ku ssente zino baagala Museveni yakomezzaawo waliwo ezaagala okwongezebwamu.
Madam Speaker,
katumale okuwulira owaffe wano
come to register content and this pressure on our side of the political aisle. And even as we talk, as I provide leadership, a number of our members are not with us. I want to say this, Madam Speaker. Before the enactment, please,
Honorable members,
please extend me courtesy.
Listen.
Extend me courtesy.
This is the gentleman.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for the compliment. Madam Speaker, I want to take us down memory lane. Before enactment of the Budget Act and its successor, the Public Finance Management Act 2015, Parliament, including the 6th Parliament, faced a dilemma where the executive would arm twist Parliament to rubber stamp the approval of appropriation bill. Madam Speaker, you will allow me to read verbatim a statement that was made by the mover of the motion, who sponsored and introduced a private member's bill entitled the Budget Bill. The then member of Uzaya, and I salute him, the Honorable Isaac Musumba, had this to say. When he was moving the motion, Madam Speaker, it was on Wednesday, 17th November 1999. And this is what he said, very brief. The budgeting process must, by its nature, involve all other consensus between the executive and the legislature. In the present situation, and that was 1999, the budgeting process is basically a preserve of the executive, leaving the legislature as a mere rubber stamp of what the executive presents. Allocation of the national resources is made between alternatives and priorities, as seen and determined by the executive only. But the Constitution imposes a time frame within which the process of budgeting and the appropriation of funds must be completed. Time and again, this House has been forced to hurriedly pass appropriation bills, lest we have a constitutional crisis. Madam Speaker, it is today 25 years down the road, and the executive is taking back Uganda to where it was in the 6th Parliament. The import, Madam Speaker, the import of the Public Finance Management Act was to involve Parliament in the budgeting process beyond mere rubber stamping the executive proposals. Madam Speaker, that's why when it talks of approval, there is another verb
consideration. That's where I salute the chair of the budget committee when he talked of harmonization, consolidation, and the other word, reconciliation. But we are not here merely when they bring a proposal and the proposals are brought like this one, that the House must only be subjected to approval. Far from it, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I thank you. And I still want to go on record to say that you have conducted and presided over the House in a very prudent way. But I highly doubt whether the process that we are being subjected to will have legitimacy. History may actually harshly pass judgment against us, Madam Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Chairperson, and I thank Honorable Nendala for bringing the House into order, because when he was talking, we gave him time to talk, we listened to him, and this is what it should be. I wanted to say, having listened to all discussions, that what Honorable Nendala has just said has taken place, because when the executive brings its proposals of a budget, the process, as was explained by the chairman, I think, of the budget committee, through the sectoral committees, through the budget committee, through parliament, that is where dialogue between executive and legislature takes place, which took place. When here in this house, it took place. But later on, when the bill went to His Excellency the President, he was not satisfied with parts of the budget. And he communicated to this House through you, Speaker. And he explained the reasons why. I don't have a copy, but he said, no, he said that some allocations were made without the knowledge of the executive. Yes. Therefore, Madam Chair and honorable colleagues, I think let us move forward, not backward. In the future, when the other, give me a chance to give my views. In the future, when this debate is going on, and the Parliament feels very strongly like all the proposals they had made, which are good, because there are so many things we need in our constituency. Let there be dialogue so that there is no need to return the bill. Let us move forward.
Thank you. Honorable members, first of all, I want to thank Honorable JB. Honorable John Baptist, thank you for the leadership. I want to, in a very special way, thank Honorable Jonathan Odu. He has been guiding the process. Whether you want to hear it or not, he has done it. He has done it. I want to assure this House that there is no problem between executive and legislature. We have been involved. And listen to this. Alone, the executive, legislature, and the judiciary have been involved in the meetings of the budget plus finance. In the last 2 financial years, we have been having meetings before the budget comes to the floor. And today when we had a meeting, it was informal fine, we've agreed we should have a meeting with His Excellency and agree on the working methods, that before the budget comes to the House, we should be able to scrutinize the budget together with His Excellency, so that we make sure that the national priorities are catered for. So we want to do that with the executive. But I don't want you to say this budget was made. The corrigenda, for instance, if we are to talk about tobacco, it is us who brought it that is a priority in the House. It is Parliament that brought that it's a priority. When you talk about Akibwa, it is Parliament that brought it in the meeting. When you talk about Oima Stadium, when you talk about Oima Stadium, it was the Parliament that raised it up. All those other things that have been coming on the floor every time when members are raising issues. So, one thing I also want to assure that, and I want to thank the Chairman Budget. Chairman Budget, at least you removed the perception that the money has been taken by members. You removed that perception. Honorable member, yes?
No, I'm not going to go backwards, but I just want to set the record straight as well. It is true, and I thank the Madam Speaker for the compliments. We have been consulting and guiding. But let the record also show that the last bit of how the matter was handled was not actually what I guided. Because that is an indictment. That is an indictment because the guidance, the point I made was, this house cannot refuse to entertain anything proposed by the executive. That is my position. But whatever is brought by the executive must be processed on a case-by-case basis. And at that time, I expected...
Actually, it is members who refused. It was not...
Yes, Madam Speaker. So I just want the record to show that the custodian of the rules is you, Madam Speaker. You can interpret it, and you did that, and the records have captured that. But the last bit and the declaration of the results was not from me.
Honorable members, I gave everybody a chance, and members refused. Yes, only Alion. Members, you see it.
Thank you very much.
When Alion talks, you have spoken.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I also want to be on record. First of all, I want to thank the President for having an extra eye that made him identify items that were not properly allocated for in the budget. Number two, yeah, we know. Number two, Madam Speaker, we erred. This House erred. Madam Speaker, the budget was presented on 16th of May. That was the same day the budget was passed. This House did not have enough time to go through the budget and identify those errors, which now the President went ahead and identified. Therefore, my procedural matter here now is, we have already ruled over and the reallocation has been passed. Are we now procedurally right to continue debating?
Thank you. Honorable members.
Something very small.
Something
very small, Madam Speaker. Something very small. Something very small. Madam Madam Speaker, I want to draw your attention to the process that we have gone through. One, you are a member of parliament from Kipya. All these ones are member of parliament apart from the ex-officials. And we have been...
Who are they?
Yes, we have
They
ex-officials.
are members of parliament.
They are members of parliament, but they are not representatives of the people in the constituencies. But Madam Speaker, what I wanted to say on record is the president's letter
Media
bad
TV.
picture on members of parliament.
Media TV.
It seems it has just gone and talked off. And the vice president is here, who has listened to items where the parliament had put the money. Whether it tantamounts to safety, what the president means, I don't know. Madam Speaker, going forward, one man called King Macbeth said, I don't know the word success, but the word failure is when you want to appease everybody. The appeasement that we are seeking for is going to dupe this parliament and bring it down if we cannot stand. Because, Madam Speaker, the health centers we are talking about are in the dilapidated state, and if the president is free to see the dilapidated schools, the dilapidated health centers, where we had put the money left to be. I am a member of parliament from Nendala side, but I think I have moved forward to make sure we move resources to where we are canvassing votes for the NRM. So continue castigating parliament in the name of safety. It is wrong and it should withdraw this statement. This letter is castigating parliament that we are thieves, yet we have indicated where we have put money in good place. So, Madam Speaker, I want to applaud you, but I want to request you, in the future, we need to bring the president to appreciate what the members of parliament are doing in good place. Thank you.
Honorable members,
Libbi.
can I hear from Dr.
Wulira. Muntu menze. Waliwo ngambye nti maapu where zaake baluwa bakube menza yiyo message. Maapu bazaake where are they and new members bakube menza.
Honorable members, let's move faster.
Oluzungu olukozesebwa lungi nnyo ky'ovola Abannayuganda tebabitegeera tugyogeddwa nnyo ky'ovola banjagala genda mu parliament constitution ebintu tubiteeke mu lulimi olutegeerwa abannaggwanga bannansi.
Honorable colleagues, I pray that you, on either side, I pray that we listen to each other, and I also pray that we lend each other an ear. And
Now, members, let's listen.
Lend your ears, just like I would also wish to lend you mine. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues from either side of the aisle.
Waliwo n'atunula tabonera taseka takola kikamu basikire mulabe oyo.
From either sides of the aisle.
Oyo.
We are here as elected members of parliament or parliament.
Yansobedde alinga komando.
One big thing, legislating, speaking for the country. And I will beg you, honorable colleagues, honorable Panado, that I beg you that we listen to each other, listen to me. No, I have not talked about that. You've spoken about that yourself, my brother. Right Honorable Speaker. Having heard from Honorable Nambeshe, Honorable Dur, and also yourself.
Balinga abali mu kirasi mapu studies hooligans. Bulijjo nze nkibagamba mujja mutugamba. Bano bateesa nnyo. Bakola tebalina kye bakola awa kulinnya ku mmenzi okutereeza ensi eno. Mapu kabwejumbira nze nzijja mu Lubaga. Mu Busiro East.
and there's
lubaga nabadde ngenze ku cheki nga wabadde wabakola emivuyo ne ngenda mbagumbululemu ate mujja kulaba neewalala nga ngenzeeyo naye nga nze ndi w'ebusiro.
Is what this came about, why this came about, and find a way forward. And this is what we want to make proposal about. You know, shouting at each other, honorable colleagues, will never help us.
Maapu gwomu tolina kyoyinza kukyusa olaba waliyo ba MP plus naye banuuna ebinkalu. Betwateekayo singa twateekayo ataano nga bonna bategeera nga temulimu bampuuga, temulimu babwanika, temulimu bajoyisi baagala, temulimu bakazi bwe Bashiri, ezirimu bakagabo singa bya ddala.
Having listened to the various parties make their case, I want to move that we move to Committee on Supply so that we specifically look at what we can be able to supply based on the President's proposal. There are areas where we may disagree, there are areas where we may buy into his proposal, and this is where I invite members to keenly follow those issues.
Madam Speaker.
I beg
Madam Speaker.
Is that second? There is a motion.
Oli ku Mapu Media TV. Nze kandabise mpaka kuwulira bubi.
For the last 4 hours, no woman has spoken here.
There is a motion.
There is a motion. Tugende mu
Madam
maaso.
Speaker, there are 2 wrongs that must be put right here.
Are you seconding the motion?
One of them, I will second, but let me speak.
Hey.
One of the wrongs, mistake which must not repeat itself. The imagination that this parliament made a mistake by identifying the priorities of the citizens of Uganda.
Oyo mwanyina.
wrong. We have removed that money which we are saying to give access to drinking water, clean water to Uganda. That's the thing, not a priority. That's mistake number 1. Mistake number 2 is the impression that those priorities of citizens are not the priorities of the president. It is a mistake.
Mistake.
It is political mistake. I want this house to get it right. If the problem is money, we have a budget of 72 trillion. We are only talking about 0.75 trillion out of a 72 trillion budget. This mistake, I have agreed we can proceed. We will proceed just because it is normal to proceed for the sake of peace. But these wrongs will own us. I second.
What do you second?
Abantu babba sente bali ku trillion
There
nsanvu
is
mu
a
bbiri.
motion that we proceed for the sake of harmony and peace. Madam Speaker, I will remind you.
Are you so pointing at me?
Okay, the problem is the hands. The hands speak louder than the voice. The problem is the hands, and I need your attention, Madam Speaker. I sat here and listened when the Prime Minister was speaking. I listened. In fact, I don't even want to mention about the Mabati, which she talked about. I'll not talk about it. She said that money is not necessary. I have said it can go. But these 2 wrongs must be corrected. This house made the right thing, as read by my chairman. He made a clear.
Thank you. Second motion.
Madam Speaker, so the motion can proceed in the interest of harmony.
Right Honorable Speaker.
Madam Speaker.
Yes, Right Honorable Speaker, I second the motion.
Madam Speaker, as we second the motion.
Allow me to have an opportunity. I am the
Yalawo.
leader of government business in this house.
Oyo yagambye tukwata
Right
oyo.
Honorable Speaker and Honorable colleagues, in 2021, the NRM government presented a manifesto, and the people of Uganda voted against that manifesto as brought by the president. Right Honorable Speaker, the president brought that manifesto and Ugandans supported it.
Order.
And so,
Order.
Right Honorable Speaker, I want members also appreciate that the president has got a role in decision making and making priorities of where we should put the money and where the budget should receive. So in this regard, Right Honorable Speaker,
Right,
I second the motion.
Order.
Let us now start
Speaker,
supplying the budget. On favor.
Right,
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Order.
Madam Speaker, there is one issue that has not come out clearly as I second this motion. Members have been talking, but if we don't solve this once and for all, next time we shall have the same problem. Madam Speaker, I've been a chairperson of the committee, and there has been one practice by ministries. Which problem is what has caused this? Government has a particular amount of money to implement government projects for every year. Once budget comes like this, the expectation is that President with the ministers must sit down and agree the priorities of a particular year. Once they agree these priorities to be executed in a particular year, there is supposed to be nothing like unfunded priority. Because all the priorities by the President and the ministers as a government must have been what? Agreed upon. Once the President sits with these ministers there, when ministerial policy statements are presented in the committees, the emphasis by ministries is the unfunded priorities. Now, if they are talking about unfunded priorities, what were the priorities they agreed with the President? Now, here, when we are talking here, I think we are accepting wrong, which is not a wrong of the Parliament. No particular committee sat down, got items, and allocated. Some of these allocations, just allow me. Yes, please.
So the wrong starts from the ministry.
Yes.
To
Yes.
finance.
Can I explain? Can I explain?
To cabinet.
Madam Speaker, I don't want information. All of you have spoken. Let me speak. Madam Speaker, what happens here is that when these items come, the various ministries will begin to agitate for other issues which are not the issues they agreed with the President. Now, members of the various committees may think that indeed these are issues which President also has concern about. Members begin to allocate monies to these areas. So the mistake is not Parliament. The mistake is these various ministries that do not represent what the President wants. So from today onwards, in this house, we must sit and agree on one thing, where there should be nothing and no term like unfunded priority presented in any budgeting process. If you shall not discontinue this, let's expect the same problem, because this is where the issue comes. Secondly, government is implementing program-based budgeting. When you go to scrutinize all these budgets of government, there are a lot of duplications. If a particular ministry is supposed to play a role for a program to go ahead, why don't there be specific activities by these specific ministries? All ministries are performing. When you're talking about roads, if you go to agriculture, it's talking about roads. If you go to local government, it's talking about roads. If you go to infrastructure, it's talking about roads. Where is the program budgeting we are talking about? What are we talking about? So, this challenge originated from cabinet itself. They came with their confusion to Parliament and put Parliament into confusion. This must be sorted out. Madam Speaker, therefore, these arguments we are raising here, if you were to ask the chairperson of budget committee to outline some of these areas he has talked about, you will find that these are areas that come from specific ministries. They are not thinking of Parliament, that members of Parliament thought about these things and put them in the budget process. No. These are issues that were presented by the various ministries. So, we should therefore sort this once and for all. Because the whole impression outside there is as if we have eaten money, we have done work. I therefore support the motion that let's go to the Committee of Supply and look at these items specifically. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
And finance, the project budgeting system should start with activity, so that they merge together. And there is I want you to come back. Frank.
Madam Speaker and honorable members, I'm always silent because when you're silent, you listen. Allow me to share my experience of 10 years ago when I chaired the Finance Committee with Honorable Kanyan and the team. We have all agreed that legislation, budgeting, appropriation is a shared responsibility. There is the role of the executive, there is the role of parliament. What we used to do, burning the midnight candle, whenever the committees would even have their reports, even before presenting them, there was always discussion between the entities. I remember we would be seated here, a minister would say, I concede. A chair of the budget committee would say, I concede. After you have consulted and exhausted. But sometimes the report is presented before you've gone through the report. So my proposal, colleagues, you are right. Parliament cannot rubber stamp. But also the executive has priorities, put in the budget, put in the national development plan, it must finance. The budget is the only tool of execution. It is the only tool of governance. So going forward, Right Honorable, I pray that committees and the ministries always harmonize in time so that nobody ambushes the other as if it's a win-win game, a win-lose game.
Honorable Speaker, I've given you.
Honorable Minister Frank, it is also unfortunate that whenever we need a minister to do, they are not there. When we are passing the national budget, you will find all the poor services in the house suffering here with Attorney General.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for...
You're welcome. Yes.
Right Honorable Speaker, you are fixed. Right Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, during the course of financial year 2023-2024, the chairperson of the budget committee...
Honorable members, we need to move faster. I need this bill signed tonight. Tomorrow we want our salary.
Right Honorable, 2 minutes.
We need our fuel. Honorable members, people want salary.
Njagala okubategeeza bagonja. Kyenjagala okubategeeza ebyaddala security eri ku parliament efaananira ddala ng'eyali ku togikwatako. Zino sente ziteekwa kuyisibwa zonna ze baagala. Kazindalo bakajjako.
Madam Speaker, there's a motion and I rise to second the motion.
Madam Chair, please, Madam Chair. Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker.
Right Honorable Speaker.
Is this parliament or P3 class? And P2.
Madam Speaker, you have the...
Yes.
Madam, you...
Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I've had the benefit of being a member of the budget committee for the last 7.5 years. And I've had the benefit of now for the last few months of being the chairperson
Muwanga
of the Public
Kivumbi.
Accounts Committee. Right Honorable Speaker, as we grapple with this issue, there is a big elephant in this house. And once we don't address it, we will be back to square one. One, as the Honorable Chair has put it, government is doing a shoddy job. Government ministers are letting this parliament down. They are actually abusing your courtesy. And I will elaborate. Right Honorable Minister, for as long as government does not stick to its budget, now we've passed this budget today. Amidst all this crisis, don't be so surprised that next week the Minister of Finance will sit and repurpose this budget again. And we come up with a supplementary under 3%. Now, as we do all this with embarrassment, can we get a commitment from the Minister that whatever we do, come in the next 2 months, you are not going to sit down and repurpose and reallocate money.
Thank you. Thank you.
Give us a commitment.
Webale Muwanga Kivumbi. Mutuwe obukakafu.
As you crucify Parliament, for reallocation.
Tujja kumala obbawa ssente tuzallocating ezitizirina okulaga ate mujje musabe supplementary budget ng'ate eri ku 3%. Kituufu. Thank you.
Even in this regard, things Parliament has totally rejected.
Bino mutugambe bwe biyita temugenda kudda na supplementary within 1, 2 or 3 months. Kubanga bagenda kudda bazisabe. Thank you.
The law requires that.
Onjogeredde ebyange musajja gwe Muwanga Kivumbi wakumpeera eccupa.
For which ceiling they cannot deviate from. But this is the government that brings addendum to the budget up to the last day. Can they commit that never again will they bring an addendum to the budget at the final hour of appropriation?
Nakyo bakikanyeeko tukikanyeeko kati.
For heaven's sake. How do you consider it in
na kino kikome baleme kugikomyawo ng'olwayo bwe bagikomezzaawo.
The last thing we want to do.
Tuula ku Map Media TV MP w'ensonga.
Passing money and treasury operations. I've seen the audit report. You gave them a budget of 1.4 trillion. And saying these are statutory obligations. 770 billion out of the 1.4 trillion was unspent. They did not spend it. They just left it out there. And they blackmailed the Parliament. It had touched statutory obligations.
General Kavuma, what is happening there?
Waliwo ssente ezisukka mu butrillioni tezaakozesebwa ne baziteeka ku pending. Naye nga wano bazifuba bazirabe nti baziteeka mu gundi zaabwe naye ne batazikozesa ate ne zidda.
But can you stop it now? We need to interrogate statutory budget. Treasury operation, that budget 130 has a lot of loopholes. Billions of money are piled there and spent. I've discovered 400 billion, which they cannot account for.
400 billion. Nga tebasobola naziwaako accountability. 400 billion. Awe watuuka awo nga speaker ayogera.
Vote 130.
Right Honorable Speaker, I want the minister to commit here the big animal in the house. Whether you will not, it's you, whether you will not repurpose this budget under 3%, because that's a big animal in the house. Let him commit, as he has taken us through, that come this month, next month, you are not going to move to reallocate money that has been done in this budget.
Madam Speaker,
Right Honorable Speaker,
Right Honorable Speaker.
Amuliyati.
Repurpose.
Amuliyati ngalwanira akazindaalo.
The Minister of Finance will not repurpose the budget because there is no provision in the law which allows them to repurpose the budget. We can assure you, Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable colleagues, that we shall operate within the budget and in accordance with the law. It may be unfair for us to stand here and promise to the House
Mhm.
that will not come back to ask for your consideration of any other matters. Because that means we will be playing God. We don't know what
kijja kuba kya bannange tetujja balimba nti ate tujja kujja wano tubakakase tugenda obbakakasa tetuyinza balimba wano tuyinza obutadda wano okuzisaba sente tugenda kudda tuzisabe tomanya wayinza okujjawo tetuyinza balimba ne bano abasajja.
I want the House, Madam Chair, I want this House to be extremely careful. Because what I have seen, and I have even seen it before, the deliberate attempt by the executive and the top technocrats to spoil the image of Parliament and render our efforts helpless. What they are trying to do is to weaken us such that we don't play our oversight role. And you can see that every time when you look at the media, they are just simply targeting Parliament. And why? Because of recent, we have become very vigilant. We are scrutinizing, even if you can imagine the time we sleep in the budget committee. You know, no time, we are concentrating. What they don't want is to see an MP who is extremely eager to play their role. And now what they are simply doing is to just turn us into, I cannot even believe how you go and you mislead the president. I don't know even who advised the president to rate that Parliament is corrupt. How can you really get the head of state mess up like this for the whole entire world? Because whatever we are seeing here is going to the whole world. How can the whole head of state, the fountain of honor, be misled?
Era muri corrupt, era tovola nga akomeza uchi budget, kubanga amanyi muri corrupt mugenda kiyisa.
I think, Madam Speaker,
you are corrupt.
Chair, we need you to be very mindful because we have seen.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I have been seeing.
Museveni yabayita corrupt.
I have been watching.
Himself naye ali corrupt era aziza budget mu corrupt. Mugenda bisa kati mugande bwe muba temuli corrupt.
The members and then the next they will say we don't need the parliament this country. So I think this is where we must protect Ugandans, the power of Ugandans through their members of parliament.
Honorable members, honorable members, honorable members. Listen. You first listen. Honorable members, I was being attacked. Everybody was quiet. Now everybody is attacked. They are talking. Why don't we be each other's what? Keeper. We need to learn to be each other's keeper. When they attack your own, you must respond. The safety does not start from Parliament. It is from the accounting officer.
Madam Chair, I really want to take off from there. I have really been standing up to make a contribution. Please, let me also make a contribution. Madam Chair,
Honorable members,
I want to know, Madam Chair,
members,
I am making a contribution, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I was also a deputy chair of that committee that is accused of being corrupt. That committee never originated any request.
Honorable Chair, so, and that thing has been cleared. Mama.
I have some pain that I need to let out. Yes. You cannot make me. My Ochenio is my Ochenio, I am also me. This corner has given to what? Number one, how did this reallocation come about? Number one, the Section 13 of the Public Finance Act requests us to interrogate the different sector committees to find out why is your posted work plan? Why do you need this money? We ask, and they can't explain. And then that's number one. So they not even explain why they need the money. Number two, they didn't even use the money of the previous 3 years. They were not spending even up to 50%. They were under absorption. Number 3, the president guided us focus on agro-industrialization, tourism, mineral economy, ICT, ATMI. And every time the chairman guided, is this a priority according to what the president said? If we say yes, when we focus on that on capital development, we put money in health, we put money in ambulances, we put money in primary schools. Who misguided the president that we were taking money away from his priorities? We were putting money in the priorities of the president. Now I'm wondering, whoever misled the president is the enemy of the president himself. That he doesn't want money to go to ambulances, he doesn't want money to go to school, he doesn't want money to go to health centers. We can't accept that. That's a lie. Those are the enemies of this government. Right on about. Right on about. Let me just, Madam Chair.
Proceed.
The women are here. Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the independents are also here. The independents, Madam Speaker, we haven't spoken. The independent members of Parliament, Madam Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, please. The independents are house. Motion. The independents, Madam Speaker. Motion, Madam Speaker. We need a voice on this. Motion. Honourable Sarah, please, the independents have not yet spoken. I am speaking on their behalf. Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues, we need to put this matter straight. I want to give and compliment on what Honourable Vice Chair of Budget has said, Honourable Remigio. Whoever has blackmailed members of Parliament to His Excellency the President has done the worst thing to the ordinary Ugandans, especially my people who come from Lamont district. We have put priority in health because it is wealth. We know when somebody is educated, somebody is already having a brighter future. The NRM manifesto is to secure the future of the ordinary Ugandans. How can somebody go and blackmail members of Parliament that we have hijacked and misallocated money when we know the priority of Ugandans is health, is education, is water, and water is life. We cannot give 300 billion to Roco. Who is this Roco? What is the other name of this Roco? We cannot sit here and then put our heads buried on the sand and we think we are doing things right. We are not doing things right. I am a member of Parliament. Much as I came under independent ticket, I am an NRM person 311. We should stop deceiving Ugandans. People are going to start walking and protesting here that members of Parliament are eating money. Where is the money? They are going to say Anita has buried money in our house. Where is the money? Have you carried money in your bank? The money cannot go to Roco. This money has to go for health. But in the essence of all this to be elevated to our hospital, we cannot bury our heads here.
Sente zinagenda mu malwaliro.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Muli mukayanira sente zigenda nakasero wa Museveni akozese bilioni 5 buli lunaku.
Considering that we are going into such type of discussion, I have three proposals. Honourable colleagues, I have three proposals to put this to rest. Number one, the Land Attorney General said that there was a resolution of Parliament, for example, to fund Roco. But we have had resolutions here. Some of those budget reallocations were resolutions of Parliament. That was sectors. For example, the two schools that are grant aided in my constituency, it was a matter that was raised here on the floor. It was given to the Prime Minister's office. The Prime Minister's office involved the Education Committee and it went to the Budget Committee. It cannot be a non-priority. So what I would say, as somebody who is a senior trade unionist in negotiations, considering that this budget we don't support, I mean that it is supplied by almost 70%. Not all the entire budget is given money that allocated to
to the sectors. What I was trying to say, why don't we add this 750 billion onto the 72 trillion and it becomes 750, so that the areas that have been considered
Can I hear from the Vice President?
those areas that have been considered the formation.
Can I hear from the Vice President? Honorable members. Honorable Madam Chair. Honorable members. Madam Chair, honorable colleagues. Madam Chair, honorable colleagues. Honorable members, can we listen? Madam Chair, we have been sitting here from 2 o'clock.
Oyo ye Roco, ye Vice President.
It's 5 o'clock. And Madam Chair, I have stood up first and foremost to make 2 clarifications, but also to appreciate the way we have been moving from 2 o'clock up to now, regardless of the challenges. That is Parliament, that is freedom of Parliament, and we are all enjoying, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, we are now moving towards moving a motion so that we can commence on a case-by-case basis handling items which are to be reconsidered. However, I would like, I don't know if Honorable John Baptist Nambesha is still around. I thank you for the statement that you made. And actually, when you were speaking, a true culture of Parliament manifested itself, of listening to each other. I am just begging that I am also given that courtesy which the Honorable Nambesha received when he was speaking. But among the very many good points that you made, you alluded to the fact that what we are handling now may not be legitimate. And that is a very strong statement because we are all lawmakers here. You actually stated that history will judge us wrong. And you quoted what happened here 19 years ago. Madam Chair, the clarification I would like to make is that what we are handling here is taken care of by the provision of the Constitution. And that is one of the clarifications that I thought I would make. The second one was from the Honorable James Kaberuka, who alluded to the fact that what we are handling here is to appease one person. I thought that was a strong word, especially appease. My view is that what we are handling here is our role and responsibility as members of Parliament. Members of Parliament who were freely elected in the general election. And the correction I would like to make is that members of Parliament, members of Cabinet, members of the judiciary are part of one government, constitutionally. And therefore, I would like us to return to the statement which the Attorney General gave us in the beginning, that the idea to do the blame game while handling this very important bill will not help any of us. I would like to call upon all of us again, Madam Chair, to draw our attention to the strategic and specific reason why we are here. We are all elected because the people saw us fit to come and speak here. We can all speak until cows come back home. But Madam Speaker, I would like to persuade the members of this August House to accept that maybe what we have said is sufficient enough. Because one of the reasons that was highlighted by Semujunganda before he went out is that we are now in a new financial year. And therefore, all arms of government require resources to continue the operations in their different sectors. And therefore, we also need to draw our attention to that direction. And then the issues of the Budget Act, the Public Finance Management Act, in case there are areas that need amendment, that is again our role. The issues of moving in uncoordinated movements, also we have the chance to cure, because we still come to this house together. Members of cabinet come to committees with their policy statements. I have witnessed members of parliament, members of cabinet leaving cabinet to come to the committee of parliament to discuss the policy statement. And that is part of the budgeting process. The members of cabinet receive call circulars from Minister of Finance, not one, not two, but sometimes even up to the fourth. And they engage, Madam Chair, members of the committees of their respective sectors. So I would like to state once again, Madam Speaker, Madam Chair, that let's accept to move as one family and correct the errors which were raised and look in the direction of owning this challenge, this responsibility which His Excellency the President has returned to us, and then we move so that Madam Chair.
Yes. Honorable members, let's listen.
Madam Chair, finally, I know that I respect the Member of Parliament who raised the issue of who is that who is misguiding the President to write such a letter. A senior member said, who is that who is guiding His Excellency, who is misguiding His Excellency the President to say that Parliament is corrupt? So, Madam Chair, I think that the Office of the President has so many channels of communicating with the whole of Uganda, including communicating to Parliament itself and all of us. I didn't want that to leave that open, because it would look that we have some suspects who are misleading His Excellency the President. And if Madam Chair, if there is anyone who is known, by members of this August House for having that habit of misguiding or misleading His Excellency the President, I think that this is not a correct forum to discuss that. I would pledge, Madam Chair, that if there is that case, we can have a conversation after the House, and then we see how to cure that. But I know for a fact that His Excellency the President cannot be misguided and cannot be misled. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable members, I put a question that the House resolves itself into a committee of supply. Those in favor for budget estimates for financial year 2024-2025. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
The Committee of Supply.
guidance, Chair. Chair, some guidance. Madam Chair, as we are going to supply, I need to be guided on how to move. Given what the budget committee and especially what the chair stated, because they were giving justifications as the minister was reading. Because when I look at it from vote 005 up to 143, the justification they are giving is over provision of the money, failure to absorb money. So, Madam Chair, are we going to take this money back to where they are over provided? I need that guidance, Madam Speaker. The other one, too, where I need some guidance is they provided money to secure this country through intelligence, ISO and ESO. Are we going to ignore that? Finally, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, finally, when I look at the totals, Madam Chair, Madam Chair, the final one is, we are talking about priorities and money going to our people. Of what the Minister, Honorable Musa, provided, of the 750 billion, 631 billion is recurrent, what the President always talks about.
Honorable Elijah, we are in supply. We are going to supply recurrent expenditure, and that is central government, vote 001 to vote 0402.
Recurrent expenditure, central government, vote 001 to vote 402.
I put a question at the sum of Uganda shillings 13 trillion 590 billion 231 million 851,000 be provided for as a total recurrent expenditure for the central government, vote 001 to 402 for the financial year 2024-2025. Those in favor sign the control and name. The ayes have it.
Regional referral hospitals, vote 403 to vote 422.
Madam Chair,
We shall put that one also.
Madam Chair, proceed.
I put a question that a total sum of Uganda shillings 290 billion 789 million 423,000 be provided for as a total recurrent expenditure for referral hospitals, vote 403 to 422 for the financial year 2024-2025. Those in favor say aye to the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Missions abroad, vote 501 to 538.
I put a question that the total sum of Uganda shillings 263 billion 336 million 145,000 be provided for as a total sum of a total recurrent expenditure for Uganda missions abroad, vote 501 to vote 538 for financial year 2024-2025. Those in favor sign the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Local governments, vote 601 to vote 935.
I put a question that the total sum of Uganda shillings 4 trillion 678 billion 357 million 676,000 be provided for as a total recurrent expenditure for a local government, vote 601 to 935 for financial year 2024-2025. Those in favor say the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Total recurrent expenditure,
I put
Yeah,
a,
the statutory provision we have not catered for.
we are going to grade. We are going to grade.
But the vote
You
is
can- No, because statutory is different. I put a question that the total sum of Uganda shillings 18 trillion 741 billion 715 million 994,000 be provided for as a total recurrent expenditure for the financial year 2024-2025. Those in favor say and their control name. Ayes have it.
development expenditure, central government, vote 001 to vote 402.
I put a question that the total sum of Uganda shillings 14 trillion 746 billion 575 million 870,000 be provided for as a total development expenditure for the central government vote 001 to 402 for the financial year 2024-2025. Those in favor say aye. The
Madam Chair.
The ayes have it.
That's
Madam Chair, there is a risk
Parliament.
in future we are going to be at
Parliament.
because
Mwe n'abagamba bannayuganda twerwaneko. Wakiriko sengeyo Parliament wagiteekamu ba Edi Mutwe, ba Edi Mutwe, ba Serekita Devi, ba Dani Magiki, ba Nubia Nelly, ne tuteekamu ba Doni Sherifu, ne tuteekamu ba Ghetto Speaker, ne tuteekamu ba Gundi, ne tuteekamu ba Gaddafi, ne tuteekamu ba Nuwa Mutwe, ne tuteekamu ba Kabwejumbira Mapu. Abantu bwe batyo senga be bali mu Parliament. Twateekayo ba butaayi.
The total sum of Uganda shillings 6 billion 730 million 6 billion 703 million 784,000 be provided for as a total
Mulinde.
development expenditure
Mu mwezi gumu eba
for the
ebiri
regional referral
bagenda kuleeta
hospital.
supplementary budget. Mwe mulinde.
To vote for 22 for the financial year 2024-2025. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
missions abroad, vote 501 to vote 538.
I put a question that the total sum of Uganda shillings 63 billion 389 million 68,000 be provided for as a total development expenditure for Uganda missions abroad. Vote 501 to vote 538 for the financial year 2024-2025. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Nemba
Local
mulinde.
government,
Ba
vote
MP basaana kufuna omusaala gwa kakadde kamu oba bubiri.
I put
Ba
a
MP.
question.
Kati
that
ddala
the
bakola
total
ki?
sum of Uganda
Balina
shillings
makulu ki?
759 billion
Basaana kufuna akakadde kamu.
714 million
Oba n'okugendayo nga bagenze kukolera ggwanga. Ng'agendayo y'alina n'okutuwa ssente ffe abalonzi. Ye n'agenda nga tagenda kubeera nga y'alina zituleetera nga zizze. Oba nga kale ffe tumusasula.
to 935
Talina bye
for
bakolayo.
financial year 2024-2025. Those in favor say and the contrary nay.
Honorable Chair, money for hospitals has been cut into half.
total
Are we
development
proceeding
expenditure.
well?
Total development expenditure,
I put a question that the total development expenditure is 15 trillion 576 billion 383 million 527,000 be provided for as a total development expenditure for the financial year 2024-2025. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
grand total appropriation. Grand total
Let's
appropriation.
have an iPad. Can I give you my specs, Muzala, and use?
Grand total
I can let you get the grand, then I give you. Grand total, I put a question that the grand total of Uganda shilling 34 trillion 318 billion 98 million 622,000 be provided for as the grand total appropriation for the financial year 2024-2025. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Honorable Chair,
Thank you. I said you would give me.
the money for hospitals has been cut into half. Even when government wants to be bad, we can't leave it to be this bad. I believe we are not proceeding very well. Thank you.
Chair.
Madam Chair.
Yes, sir. Honorable members, as you are aware that the statutory votes are direct charge votes on the consolidated fund and therefore do not require to be appropriated by the House. However, for avoidance of doubt, because the Honorable Guzuli is really in, I would like to say that the total budgetary allocation for the statutory vote and specified officers for the financial year 2024-2025 is 36 trillion 688 billion 316 million 627,000. And you can get the summary. Show the summary. In addition, the total of the pension and gratuity and non-statutory vote is 1 trillion 130 billion 89 million and 4,000. That is the total. The grand total of statutory on the consolidated fund for the financial year 2024-2025 and the pension is 37 trillion 818 billion 405 million 632,000. 6,000. Those in favor stand the contrary name. The ayes have it.
Motion for the House to resume.
kati tuvuddeyo mu bukiiko kati tukomawo mu house wali tubadde mu bukiiko kati house egenda kuddamu tunaavaawo dde.
Madam Chair, I beg to move a motion that the House do resume and the committee of the whole House reports thereto.
I put a question that the House resumes and the committee of the supply reports thereto. Those in favor stand the contrary. The ayes have it.
Report of the Committee of Supply.
Honorable Minister.
Madam Speaker, I beg to report that the committee of the whole House has reconsidered the appropriations bill 2024.
And supply.
I beg to report that the committee of supply
enjayuuya
has reconsidered the Appropriations Bill 2024 as returned by the President and passed it.
Motion for adoption of the report of the Committee of Supply.
Madam Speaker, I beg to move a motion that the report from the Committee of Supply be adopted.
I put a question that the report of the Committee of Supply be adopted by this House. Those in favor sign the contract name.
Bill second reading. The Appropriation Bill 2024 as returned by His Excellency the President in accordance with Article 91(3)(c) of the Constitution.
Honorable Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to move a motion that the Appropriations Bill 2024 as returned by the President be read for the second time. No.
Seconded. Second time. Seconded. Mayorone. Ayeko. Shatis. Kavuma. Apande. Kavuma. Apande. Apande Nekesa. Apande Alayo. By Dr. Che. By Prime Minister. Royal Guard. Everybody. You need to just. Toto VP, Inkoja is also there. Just fine. I put a question that Appropriation Bill 2024 be read for the second time. Those in favor say I have to contrary the name. Right, have it.
The Appropriation Bill 2024, Bills Committee stage. Clause 1.
Chair, I put a question that clause 1 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say on the contrary nay. Right, have it.
Clause 2.
I put a question that clause 2 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say on the contrary nay. Right, have it.
Clause 3.
I put a question that clause 3 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say on the contrary nay. Right, have it.
Clause 4.
I put a question that clause 4 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say on the contrary nay. Right, have it.
Schedule.
The amendment.
Madam Chair, we propose to replace or substitute the schedule in the bill with the Annex 1 Appropriations Bill 2024 Recurrent Expenditure, Annex 2 Appropriations Bill 2024 Development Expenditure, and Annex 3 I beg to move.
I put a question that the schedule to the bill be substituted as proposed. Those in favor say on the contrary nay. The ayes have it and the answer should capture the schedule.
The schedule as amended.
I put a question that the schedule as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say on the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Title.
I put a question that the title stands part of the bill. Those in favor say on the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Motion for resumption of the House.
Honorable Minister.
Madam Chair, I beg to move a motion that the House do resume and the committee of the whole House reports there too.
I put a question that the House resumes and the committee of the whole House reports there too. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Report of the Committee of the Whole House.
Honorable Minister.
Madam Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the whole House has considered the Appropriations Bill 2024 as returned by the President and passed it with no amendment. No, with amendment. We amended the schedule.
Motion for adoption of the report of the Committee of the Whole House.
Minister.
I beg to move a motion that the report from the Committee of the whole House be adopted.
I put a question that the report of the Committee of the whole House be adopted by this House. Those in favor say and the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Bill third reading. The Appropriation Bill 2024 as returned by His Excellency the President.
Nzajja tufuze emyaka ana nakati tuli wano yatumanyira yakomyezawo he has it returned by His Excellency Museveni yatumanyidde ne bannayuganda tuli bisino nange mwendi mu basiri myaka ana nakati agikomezawo netteeka tebalitunuulidde nti yayiseemu kubanga yayina ddiza ennaku 3 nga tegannayita ne babitunuulidde bali wano be batutegekera amateeka constitution be bagibaga be babikola nese Museveni yakomezaawo ekiteeka ekyatasayininze nga n'ennaku ziyiseewo nga n'amateeka gamukwata nese bwe tebabitunudde namu Museveni omanyidde bannayuganda MP bisaana kibo atumanyira ayita mu bano abantu n'otunula n'owulira ennaku as the motion returned by His Excellency.
The Appropriation Bill 2024 as returned by His Excellency the President be read and the third time and do pass. Those in favor say and the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
A bill for an act titled the Appropriation Act 2024.
The title is settled and the bill has been passed. Congratulations. Honorable member, I want to amend since we are going for a long recess, I want to amend the order paper and you lay the law record.
Chair, Right Honourable Speaker, small thing before we move away from
Now let him finish. Let him finish.
Madam Speaker, I want to learn before Parliament a proposal to borrow up to Euro 126
nze nayagadde nkozesa eddata ono yenna ndage ku bantu bange bino bye bibeerayo mu parliamenti era temusuubirayo kyamagezi wuuyo Kasayija oyo ye minisita wa finance wuuyo Kasayija aseka n'okuseka kasita omulaba ng'aseka aba agenda kusoma bifu kasita avaako akaseka
Parliament
laba wano oli
proposal
laba oyo
for up to euro
laba oyo oyo namuzuuminze dda laba oyo kamwongere wano laba oyo kati ddala oyo agenda kuteesa ki taseka tatu uyo gwe mulabe naye ddala ddala oyo MP oba ze zino security gwe MP kyataseka takola ki tannenyenya nako oyo gwe mulaba tulimbe tuve wano
2023 from City Bank to finance the design and build of Rusalira, Nkonge, Megere, Sembabli Road, upgrading project of 93, no,
kasita omulaba ku sikulini manya ebiddako byakulimba I beg it to lay.
The loan is referred to the Committee of National Economy for perusal. Vice President. Vice President. Honorable Sachikubo, please.
Ndowooza muwulidde banka Uganda sente ze baagala kwewola Kashaija agambye kwewola.
On a side note, I want to announce that one of our colleagues lost a mother, Honorable Lomo, Richard, and we keep him in our prayers. Losing a mother is not an easy thing, and may her soul rest in eternal peace. Sorry about that, Right Honorable Speaker.
Oba wa kibiina akyafiiriddwa maama we.
Rest in eternal peace. And may we stand up and for a moment of silence in honor of that mother who is all of. It's an equivalent of all our mother.
Kale ne baseka. Wulira parliament. Babagambe bayimirire ku lw'omugenzi afudde. Siita oba mubeerawo ne mugamba maapu lwaki oyogera wano mu group simanya lwaki bino byabite janguko ku parliament maapu eri live janguko ku parliament maapu eri live either genda ku YouTube oba ku Facebook tuli live okakase parliament bwebeera.
All of us members of parliament except Madam Speaker. But thank you very much for the way you have steered the house during this time from 2 up to now. I would like all of us members of parliament to thank Madam Speaker very sincerely. Secondly, let me also thank all members of parliament because the challenge we have just managed has demonstrated the fact that when we work together, when we work closely, when we speak in one language, we can do many things together. I want to pray, Madam Speaker, that as Parliament, we continue moving in this direction, because we are here to cure the challenges faced by all our people in villages, or in towns, also in cities. In short, Madam Speaker, I would like once again, on behalf of His Excellency the President, who gave us this role which we have just finished, to thank the whole House once again and promise that as executive, we shall continue working very closely with members of Parliament and the leadership of Parliament. Thank you very much.
Agamasego galaba. Executive.
Honorable members.
Executive ne parliament. Awe wali sente yo omusolo wegendera. Executive. Kyesalawo. Neno. Wulira.
To bond with your members. And now we are going to make sure that you bond better. You understand when I say you bond better. You're going to bond better, and the house is still adjourned to 23rd of July, 2024. House adjourned at 2 p.m.
Procedure, right honorable. The chair is on the floor.
Honorable members who have not signed, please